So this is called the broccoli chickpea walnut salad with our maple mustard dressing. It's a mouthful. Hello and welcome back to the VegInspired YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you a really fun recipe. It's actually a modification from one of the recipes in the Super Easy Plant-Based Cookbook, which I'll link below. This is my second cookbook, and actually this cookbook's really great for anybody looking for some fun and unique, super easy recipes for your plant-based way of eating. There's one-pot recipes, there's 5-ingredient recipes, there's 30-minute meal recipes, and then there's no-cook recipes. So that really gives you a good variety of super easy recipes. This actually falls in the no-cook section, but the twist we're gonna add requires some cooking. So let's get into this recipe and I'll share the twist with you. So this is called the broccoli chickpea walnut salad with our maple mustard dressing. It's a mouthful, but our spin is going to be to add cooked potatoes. So right now I have a few pounds, actually 6 pounds of potatoes cooking behind me. We're gonna use them for some other recipes, so I thought I'd cook them all while I was doing this video for you. And then when the potatoes are done, I can add them to our salad. So the first thing I wanna do is I'm going to add in about 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts or walnut pieces. So I like them pretty small, so I'm gonna add in the walnuts to the pan, to the bowl. Man, I'm out of practice, y'all. Next, we're gonna add in 1 can of drained and rinsed chickpeas. So I just drained and rinsed them. I'm just gonna add those in, and then I'm gonna get these things out of the way. The star of the show for this recipe is really your fresh broccoli. And so I'm gonna just start trimming this broccoli up. We like to buy the whole broccoli, and then sometimes we'll use the stem. So it'll just depend on if I just use florets or if I also chop up the stem for this recipe. I might just peel it off and then eat the stem, because that's good too. So when I'm cutting the florets, I'm just cutting them right off the stem into small, kind of bite-sized pieces. You don't want them really big because I don't really like to get a huge mouthful of broccoli. I like everything to kind of be a similar piece. I will cut the potatoes a little bit bigger, so these could be, bite-sized. Like this is even probably okay. So maybe about a 1-inch floret. I think that's, the recipe calls for just broccoli florets. You could even buy the pre-cut broccoli florets and just chop them in half. So we're just gonna get to about 2 cups of these broccolis. Like this one's a little big, so I chopped him in half. For those of you that might be new around here, new to the VegInspired channel, just finding me, this is super fun. I'm coming to you live from our RV, not live, but I'm filming this recipe in our RV. We actually travel, my husband and I and our 2 cats, which you may see from time to time pop up in a recipe video, Archie and Eddie. We actually travel the United States full time in a 5th wheel RV. I'm filming this, we're in Michigan right now. We did an entire tour of the Great Lakes this summer, and so this is our final stay in Michigan before we start to head south for the winter. We typically winter in Florida. So this is just 1 cup of broccoli florets. I'm gonna cut up a 2nd cup while I'm here. But I invite you to, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. These recipes all come to you for free, but we like to say that in turn, your pay, what you are gonna give back is a little subscribe. So if you're new around here, hit that subscribe. Let me know what you think, what types of recipes you're interested in. Are you interested in more salad recipes that are simple like this? Are you interested in breakfast recipes, dessert recipes? What types of recipes would interest you on the channel? I'd love to hear from you. And then also, let me know if you're going to try this recipe. So again, this recipe is a twist on a recipe from the Super Easy Plant-Based Cookbook because it doesn't have to be cooked. You could do just the recipe from the cookbook, which is broccoli, chickpeas, and the walnuts, and you'd have a pretty balanced salad recipe. You might want to pair it with something else. It might be a great side dish, but for me, I really enjoy pairing it with potatoes. So I've kind of made this, veg-inspired twist on my own recipe, where I make it more starchy by adding boiled potatoes. You could also add roasted potatoes. You could add roasted sweet potatoes. That would be really good. Roasted sweet potatoes are so good with the maple mustard dressing, which we're going to mix up in a few minutes. Okay, so this is our second cup of broccoli. And then, like I said, we're going to add some potatoes here in a little bit. So in this bowl now we have the 1/4 to 1/2 cup of chopped or bits and pieces of walnuts, 1 can of drained and rinsed chickpeas, and about 2 cups of small broccoli florets. Okay, welcome back. So our potatoes are done, and now we're going to cube them into small pieces, and we're going to use about 4 cups of cooked potato. Now the beauty of this recipe is that you could boil your potatoes for mashed potatoes one day, and then, like I said, boil extra potatoes like we did, and then simply use those leftover cooked potatoes to make a simple salad like this. They're a little warm still, so they're kind of hot to handle. And just a fair warning, Archie loves potatoes, and so I see him sneaking around by my feet in case he makes an appearance up here. These would probably cut better if they were colder. Oftentimes people will ask me about the skin. I leave the skin on for our potato salads most of the time. Every now and then I'll do like an old-fashioned potato salad where I take the skin off, but we choose to buy organic potatoes, and so we eat the skin anyway. So leaving the skin on just adds additional nutrients. So for us but you could easily peel the potatoes before you boil them and take the skin off if you choose. And again, these are just in small chunks. You know, if you like bigger chunks, cut them in bigger chunks. Oh, Archie, off. 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 Oh. I did warn you that you might see a cat today. He does think that he needs to be the kitchen supervisor. So that's 2 cups of potatoes. We're going to do about 4 cups. So we have a few more things that we want to put in here, but this salad now includes about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. You can cut them whatever size you like, or you can just buy them pre-cut. 2 cups of broccoli, florets, 1 can of chickpeas that have been drained and rinsed, and about 4 cups of potatoes. Okay, now let's make our maple mustard dressing. Now for this recipe, we're not gonna follow the recipe in the Super Easy Plant-Based Cookbook. We've modified it a little bit, and we're actually gonna make a larger batch. So we're gonna double that recipe, and then you can use, we like ours a little bit wetter, so you can use as much or as little of this maple mustard as you want. It's really good on other things like sweet potatoes or just a house salad and then some maple mustard. Really good on French fries or sweet potato fries. So you can always make something like that. Can you get down? Get down. Good boy. Whoops. So you can always add it to, you can always use it with sweet potatoes or sweet potato fries or French fries or anything like that. We're gonna go ahead and whip up this dressing right now. And like I said, we are doubling it, and it is modified from the cookbook, but we do a couple of other things to kind of make it a lower fat option. So we're going to start with 4 tablespoons of our stone ground mustard. You can use whole grain mustard, you can use Dijon. I like to mix and match the mustards. So I use 4 tablespoons of stone ground, and then I use 4 tablespoons of yellow. So again, this is a double batch, and this cookie scoop is a 2 tablespoon cookie scoop. I love to use those because it helps get the sticky stuff right out really easily. And then we're going to do 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. And then for this recipe, we're going to use a tablespoon of rice vinegar. Now, I don't use the seasoned rice vinegar in this recipe, but I do love seasoned rice vinegar. I think it's great on your salads. I think it's great for other things like that. And then we're just gonna whisk this up. Oops, we're gonna try and keep it in the bowl. Once you've got it good and whisked, we're going to actually add the dry spices right to this. So these, if you're following along in the cookbook, these are already in the cookbook on the salad, but we're gonna add them to the dressing. So because this is off please. Because this is a double batch, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of dried dill or dillweed. And then we're going to do half a teaspoon of onion powder. And we're going to do a fourth of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we'll just whisk those into the dressing. And then we'll add this dressing right to our potatoes, chickpeas, walnuts, and broccoli. Now we're gonna fold all the ingredients together. Put a little in a bowl. And let's give it a taste. So we have the maple mustard dressing with the chickpeas, the walnuts, the broccoli, and the cooked yellow potatoes. Dude, not time for you to taste. You can't have this. Another thing that you could do by choice is you could blanch your broccoli. So putting it in boiling water and then putting it directly in an ice bath. That might make it greener or brighter or a little crisper depending on how your broccoli is. But yeah, this is a really great salad. It's a great make ahead. So I can make this and John and I could have some for lunch and then we could have some for lunch again tomorrow. Come on, get down. Off. Life with cats, I suppose. It's about 4 servings, but we love it. It's a great twist on this easy broccoli chickpea, and it's an awesome way to use up leftover potatoes. If you do have extra potatoes, you can just throw them in this no-cook meal, and it's great cold, and it's great a little warm like this with your warm potatoes. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you're going to try this, if there's any additional modifications you might make, and I will see you in our next video. Until then, live veg inspired.